Denmark is a small country with a big, rich history of newspaper coverage. But if you don't speak Danish, you're probably not hearing what the papers have to say. It's week 24. I'm Amos Miller, and this is the midweek Danish press review. Each week, I dive into how the major papers in Denmark are making and shaping the political landscape via interviews, opinion pieces, and editorial decisions. Because just reading the news isn't always the whole story. The major political beat this week is the selection of party-subject spokespeople, particularly for the new governing parties of Socialdemokratiet, Radikale Venstre, Moderaterne, and the Socialistiske Folkeparti. And we'll start with Berlingske, Denmark's oldest running paper. Daniel Tiedemann, in an interview with the Social Democrats' newest immigration spokesman, Magnus Georg Jensen, presses Jensen on whether the new government will continue to restrict immigration rules, or if the new alliance with Radikale and the Socialistiske Folkeparti will make them change course. I've been described as an unknown name in the broader public, and that's fine, but if you think that there will be weaker rhetoric coming from the immigration spokesperson's office in the Social Democrats, then you're mistaken. Berlingske's Kasper Fass also writes about the coming dilemma for the Social Dems as they try to navigate their tough-on-immigration politics with the new governmental partners. Fass concludes, everything indicates that there is no longer a majority behind the current citizenship agreement, which sets limits on who can get citizenship. Therefore, processing of applicants have been set on pause. He continues, therefore, 14,300 applicants are waving in the wind, according to Jyllands-Posten, as they wait to see whether they will get the opportunity to obtain citizenship or not. Over in Politiken, the same conversation is being had with different participants. 3 out of the 4 governing parties before the election wanted to loosen rules on citizenship for young people, but bowed under pressure at Marienborg. Morten Skærbæk profiles how Radikale Venstre and Socialistiske Folkeparti have set aside their goals of making citizenship for children of immigrants born in Denmark easier, as the political price for entering government with the Social Dems. While Berlingske interviewed the Socialdemokratiet's new immigration spokesperson, Politiken profiled Radikale Venstres. 30-year-old Magnus Georg Jensen was appointed this week as Radikale Venstres' new immigration spokesperson, and he wants to talk less about criminal immigrants and more about global talent. If we look at the nearly 40,000 people who've received citizenship since 2015, there are 66 of those who were later convicted of a prison sentence for crime. That's 0.17%. And so it's extreme how much focus ends up on those 66 people. Not to be left out of the fun, Kristeligt Dagblad profiles Socialdemokratiet's former immigration spokesperson, Frederik Vad, who has been elevated to a newly created values spokesperson. But Anders Brønsholm of Kristeligt Dagblad isn't so sure what difference the post change makes. Vad answers, integration hasn't been achieved when people get an education, or a job, or speak the language if they still work against Danish values. When pressed on the difference between his new job and old job, Vad concludes, everyone should own our immigration politics. Everyone should own our values politics. My job is to make sure that ownership is shared evenly. In a change of pace, over in Børsen, Denmark's premier financial paper, the Lord Mayor of Copenhagen warns of a major issue with housing. The Lord Mayor speaking on housing crisis, solution will take at least a decade. In the last 2 years alone, the price of apartments has risen about 40%. Sisse has a plan to build more housing, including quicker handling of building permits and better options to turn business properties, lofts, and basements into housing units. She also sets her focus on the construction of housing ownership, stating that she wants to change the current requirement in Copenhagen Kommune from requiring 25% of all new building projects to be ownership housing to 40%. Finally, up in my part of the country, Nordjyske profiles the coming threat the new government poses to pig farmers. Thomas Christoffersen chose pigs over cows. Now he's unsure if he'd do it that way again. Potential changes to animal welfare standards for pigs in Denmark has many farmers concerned that they may lose investments or even be forced to shut down. For Tisted pig farmer Thomas Christoffersen, the looming changes are concerning, but he offers, nobody should feel bad for me. I've made good money as a farmer. It's just a drag. That's your midweek Danish press review for week 24. See y'all next week.